So I'm thinking of this image of two people in an airplane, and they're going to parachute. And it's the classic situation of each one says to the other, well, I need you to jump first. Well, if you look at this pretty clearly, nothing's going to happen, right? No parachuting is going to happen here if each sticks to, I can't jump unless you have jumped first. I think this is a very helpful image. Not perfect, but it's a very helpful image for thinking about marriage. There's something very scary about the jumping of giving 100%. Because we have this sense of, how can I just go and do that first? How do I know that she's going to do it too? And well, golly, I mean, if I jump first and she doesn't jump, well, in any case, for sure that's not fair, and it might not be safe. Now, I might get really hurt. Well, there's some truth to that. But perhaps we should remind ourselves, marriage isn't really about fair or safe. If this great adventure of marriage is going to work, I think really someone does have to jump first. It's not that it's impossible that you jump together, but I think subjectively we pretty much are going to experience it unless it's just really clear that the other person already has jumped. In which case, hey, it's time to jump. But very often we'll experience it as, well, I'm just going to have to kind of do this. I'm going to have to give 100%. I'm going to have to give without looking back, even if it doesn't feel like the other person's doing that. And, well, what's the worst case scenario there? What's the worst case scenario? Well, maybe she doesn't end up giving 100%. Well, let's think about that for a second. What if it kind of is 100 on one side and 75 on the other? Well, first of all, maybe that's just how we are experiencing it. Maybe that is her 100. Maybe there's actually something wrong on my side that I'm only experiencing it as a 75. That, I think, is worth considering. But let's just say that is, in some sense, going to be her best. Let's just say it is, in some sense, a lower number. Well, what's that mean? Is my answer, well, then I'm going to drop my number. Does that make our situation better? Or is it not actually a reason to keep my number as high as possible? To give and keep giving and not look back. It certainly is our ideal that marriage be 100-100. But it might not work out that way. What is in my power is my 100. And I think this much is sure. To the extent that I actually do that, I'm doing something amazingly right. I'm doing what in some sense she deserves, even if it doesn't feel like she deserves it. I'm doing something that if we're blessed with children, our children certainly deserve. It's what I deserve. And the fruits of it will always be astounding. An example might be helpful of giving 100%. What comes to my mind is the proverbial argument, the fight, the disagreement that really has kind of, it's gotten very challenging. It's going really hard. And there's just a lot of pain. Both sides are feeling pain. Both sides are feeling needy here, not understood, not seen, not heard. And it's kind of in, how is this going to end? There's not maybe going to be any good solution here. So what does giving 100% look like versus not? Well, I think it might look something like this, where we're tempted to just kind of sign off here with a, well, I don't know what to say. Well, I don't know what to do. You know, how am I supposed to handle this? What's going to satisfy you? That versus This has been really hard for both of us, and I honestly don't know what's going to address this situation and make it better. But I recommit myself. I want to do right by you here. I am hurting. I know you're hurting too. And I want to keep working on it with you. And I pledge myself to do that. I just think that's the all. That's the 100%. You don't know what the solution's going to be, but you choose to simply recommit to it. I think that can make all the difference.